Passage number 2. If you've ever watched a Grand Prix, you may have asked yourself, how do Formula One cars generate downforce? Okay. Motorsports is all about speed. Being the fastest around will mean victory, but there is a limit to how fast one can travel on the ground without the car taking off. Second. So motorsports is all about speed. Being the fastest around will mean victory, but there is a limit to how fast one can travel on the ground without the car taking off. This is the problem that all the cars in Formula One face, which if you are going too fast, you will start flying, right? So car cannot take off, it has to stay grounded. For attaining great speeds, a car needs to remain firmly on the ground and have a good grip on the racing track. This means that all cars need to generate a downward force sufficient enough to keep them firmly on the ground for the speed that they intend to attain. Okay, this paragraph is summarizing the problem. What is the problem? Formula One cars need to generate something called downforce to stay grounded so that they don't fly off while generating immense speeds. That's it. On way to remain on the ground at great speeds is to increase the weight of the car. I think this is one way. One way is to increase the weight of the car. If you increase the weight of the car, you're likely to stay on the ground, right? But an increased weight will need more power to drive the car and make the handling of the car difficult. So this solution is not applicable. The alternative to this is to create the required force to stay grounded. Okay. Downward force can be generated from the air flowing around the car and will increase as the speed of the car increases. All right. So what is solution 1? Say is increase weight of the car. What is the problem with this? Force required would be too much. And the other one problem is handling is difficult. Handling would become difficult. You can't make the car too heavy. So solution 2 is what? Generate the force through air flow around the car. The other way is to generate the force through the air flowing around the car. Let's take a look how they do that. The wings of an airplane help to keep it off, help it to take off in the air at specified speed. The same wing, if installed inverted on a car, can make the car stay firmly on the ground. Okay, so this is the reverse Bernoulli's principle. So the same logic that is used to help airplanes take off at speed, they're using the same logic but reverse. Just like in an airplane, as the speed of the car increases, the wings will press the car more firmly on the ground, thereby making handling of the car through twists and turns easier at high speed. This force that presses the car to the ground is called downforce. Okay. So similar to airplane, but opposite in nature. Wings press car to the ground. This force is called downforce. Okay. Aerodynamic downforce plays an important role in the performance of Formula One cars, DTM, Indy cars, and touring cars. Good grip on the racing track is equally as important as power generated by a racing car engine. Good ground adhesion gives the car stability and better cornering ability. Hence, a racing car must generate a ground force equal to several times its weight. Aerodynamic downforce is very important. Gives stability and cornering ability. So a racing car must generate ground force equal to several times its weight. Ground force equal to multiples of its weight. The downforce generated should be in multiples of the weight that it has. Modern Formula One cars can generate as much as 5G downforce. Okay. That means at full speed, the effective weight pressing down on the track will be 5 times the weight of the car. Almost all surfaces of a Formula One car are engineered to produce downforce. The downforce by the front portion of the car has to be balanced by the downforce produced by the rear portion. Okay. Sorry. Suppose not. Okay. What is this saying? 5G is the downforce by F1 cars, which means 5 times the weight. Almost all surfaces of a Formula One car are engineered to produce downforce. All surfaces, almost all surface produce downforce. The downforce by the front portion, downforce by front, should be balanced with downforce of rear. This is the back. Okay. While the downforce on either side of the car can be balanced by symmetry, the downforce between the front and the rear cannot. Right. So sides you can balance through because the car is symmetrical. So sides can be balanced, but front and back are not the same. So there you cannot. This downforce has to be balanced by design. You have to design it in a way where the downforce is same in the front and the back. Most of the force in downforce in Formula One cars is produced by the wings and by diffusers. The downforce required by the car for ultimate performance will vary from track to track and on the conditions of the track. This is saying what? Okay. Downforce front and back. So basically this part, to do this, you have to design it in such a way. It can only be done by design. Symmetry can't manage that. Most of the downforce is produced by wings and diffusers. Downforce in Formula One cars is produced by wings and diffusers. Okay. The downforce required by the car for ultimate performance will vary from, so downforce required changes from track to track. Depending on the track, the downforce required will change, and also on the conditions of the track. While too much front downforce could lead to understeering, too much downforce generated by the rear portion could lead to oversteering. The balance of the downforce between the front and the rear can be done by careful designing of the body parts of the car. The balancing act of the downforce also comes with an increased drag on the car. Okay. DF front is greater than, what is the problem? Understeering, and DF back is greater than it is oversteering is the problem. Understeering and oversteering. How do you balance it? Careful design is what it says. Nothing new there. Careful designing of the body parts. Design of body parts of the car. Okay. The balancing also comes with the increased drag. By this, you also get drag is increased on the car. Select the option that correctly sorts facts and opinions. Okay, so we're looking for we have 4 statements here. We need to check which of them are facts, which of them are pure opinions. Grand Prix is worth watching. Well, that depends on, it's an opinion, right? That depends on your interest. You may or may not be interested. So this is quite clearly an opinion. Formula One cars are beautifully designed. Unlike any other type of cars, beautifully designed is again not a quantifiable metric. It is it's an opinion, right? Some may not like the design, some may like the design. Symmetry is unable to address the downforce between the front and rear of a car. This is a fact. We looked at it. The symmetry, you can handle the sideways parts, but cannot handle the front and back. The weight of a racing car has to be far less than the ground force generated, right? We also looked into this. This is also a fact. They say that a Formula One car generates 5G, 5 times the weight that it has, 5G level of downforce. Okay. So these two are opinions. These two are facts. 3 and 4 is fact. 1 and 2 is opinion. Yes, that is my answer. Select the idiomatic expression that addresses the given text most appropriately. So it's a way of saying, can you give me a idiomatic title for this passage? What kind of a title can we give? A vicious cycle. It's not really a cycle, is it? It's not a cycle. No. This is not really good pick. It's not a cycle, is a recurring evil event, right? A vicious cycle is a recurring evil event. That's not what. That is not what's happening. Two can play at the game. No. Two can play at the game is more of a battle between two things, right? No. Dot the I's and cross the T's. That is a good idiom to use. If you look at the paragraph is highly talking about details, right? Talking about the kind of detailing that is required to address the downforce problem in Formula One. So what they're doing is really talking about what is the level of detailing that is required to build a racing car. The tip of the iceberg, not really. Tip of the iceberg we would have used when we're looking at a problem and we've barely looked at the problem at all, right? And say this is like a much bigger problem and all that. That's not. We basically come across a problem and the passage has described and given explanation on a particular concept within the racing fraternity. So C is my answer. Dotting the I's and crossing the T's, because it is talking about the level of detailing that is required in Formula One cars. What type of text could the given piece best be categorized under? So say this is sort of like a say if you it's like asking you if you have it's like tone, right? What is the tone of the passage, or what is the topic trying to describe, right? So analytical. Okay, what do we have? Analytical, we have expository, we have descriptive, we have inspirational. The first thing I can do, I can rule out inspirational. The passage has nothing to do with giving anyone any kind of inspiration, right? What is the passage really doing? The passage is really just talking about a particular concept within Formula One cars. Okay. Is it analytical? What does it mean to be analytical? To be analytical is to consider different facets, weigh them against each other, right? That's not what's happening. So is wrong. Between descriptive and expository are very close here. While the passage is describing something, it goes into more detail than just description. And exposition is what it does. It does an exposition. It does a thorough understanding, goes into details about the problem, and we learn about it. It's not just merely describing the concept of downforce. It is doing more than that. Exposition is what it is doing, which is revealing a lot of facts about the downforce. So B is my option. 16. In the line, the alternative to this is to create the required force to stay grounded. Okay. What is the nature of meaning for staying grounded that the writer does not refer to? So what is the meaning, nature of meaning of this part? Staying grounded. What does he not refer to? Which of these options is he not referring to? What is the nature of the statement, of this part of the statement, and what is he not doing? Okay. Metaphorical. What does staying grounded metaphorically mean? Staying grounded is down to earth. Staying grounded, being humble. That's not what he's talking about, right? Therefore, this looks like a good pick. He's not trying to tell you. He's talking about staying grounded, staying on the ground. Not talking about humility, right? Humility would be metaphorical use of staying grounded. He's talking about it in a literal sense. Exact. Yes. He is talking about it in an exact sense. Non-figurative. Yes, it's not a figurative way of speaking. It is literal, right? So all these three are good. A is therefore my answer. He's not referring to it in a metaphorical sense. 17. The most appropriate option as a concluding remark for the given text. Concluding remark. How can we end this paragraph? All right. Racing regulations make it hard to gain an advantage over competitors. No, it's never really talks about competition, right? Neither does it talk about regulations. Therefore, A is out. The total aerodynamic package of the race car is emphasized now more than ever before. Okay, yes, this looks like a good pick. The faster the cars get, the requirement of nailing down the downforce becomes important, and therefore the aerodynamic understanding of the car becomes even more important, right? Therefore, B looks like a good pick. We can understand the downforce concept both mathematically and logically. Okay, while we do understand the downforce concept, mathematically is a bit of a stretch. While yes, the 5G angle is mentioned, but it's not really, we didn't really get into the details in terms of the math. We understood the logic of it, yes, but the mathematically is quite a stretch. So I will get rid of that. D. Downforce ensures that cars are firmly planted on the road at speed. Okay, fair enough. It does, but this is a very basic point from the entire passage. Downforce ensures that cars are firmly planted on the road at speed is basically the is one of the most basic points. The passage has gone into far more detail and talking about how aerodynamics around the car is really important to generate this downforce now that cars are reaching higher speeds. Right. So B is my answer.